All right, cool, man. So we're gonna dive into the MCU tier list ranking today, bro. Worst, bro. We're starting off strong with Captain America: Civil War. That's gotta be best of the best, man. There's only gonna be a couple movies that are gonna be up here, dude. So one thing that Captain America: Civil War does really, really well is, like Winter Soldier, they get away from like the typical like, oh, there's a bad guy and we got to defeat him type of thing, and it's more of like a really like a realistic problem. And the whole thing with like the government intervention on the Avengers and Tony Stark and Steve Rogers kind of having that disagreement on that subject and them kind of fighting over it's really cool. We get the introduction to Spider-Man. We get Ant-Man back, Paul Rudd. Just the whole seeing all these people together was really cool, man. And it felt different. You know what I mean? And Zemo as a villain was awesome, dude. He's one of my favorites in the entire franchise. He actually wins in the end. His whole reason for being the way he was to split up the Avengers, was to cause conflict between them, and that's exactly what he did. So he actually won in the end, which is what I love to see, and I love movies like that. So Captain America: Civil War is up there, bro. The Avengers is a good introduction. We'll put it in great. It was a good movie, dude. This movie did everything that Justice League kind of wanted to recreate, and Justice League couldn't do it. And I think since Justice League couldn't do it, I think people are starting to come around to this movie a lot more. I'm not saying it was ever really hated on, but people just was like, oh, it's a good movie. It's a good introduction, but people didn't put it on the level of some of these other films. But now that they saw that, it's actually not easy to execute, people have given this movie a lot of credit now, a lot of deserved credit. And it's a good movie, dude. A lot of funny moments in it. The big battle in New York is really fun to watch. This is like a very nostalgic and classic like Marvel movie. Like, you know what I mean? It was very comic book. Had a comic book feel to it. The MCU became like this crazy CGI fest after a while, and this is when it just still felt real. You know what I mean? It felt grounded, and because of that, it goes in great for me. Next we got is Avengers: Age of Ultron, probably one of the most underrated Marvel movies, I think, in the entire series. I mean, dude, Avengers: Age of Ultron is a really good Marvel movie and a really good Avengers movie. It's a big downstep from the first Avengers movie, but it's still a good movie. The first battle in the snow and everything, and the relationship between Black Widow and Bruce Banner was really, really cool. Yeah, just really fun stuff overall. I don't understand why people don't like this. Ultron was a really, really good villain. I actually really enjoyed Ultron. So many good moments in it. Definitely an upgrade for Captain America's suit for sure. But no, just a really good film overall. And the fact that it gets hate, like, people don't like Spader as Ultron, and I've never understood that. I thought he did a really good job with it, and I loved it. I think this is a film that I can sit down and really enjoy. It's not on the great level, but it's a good film. It's a really good entry. Avengers Infinity War, bro, it's got to be best of the best. I would take Civil War over Avengers Infinity War because it's more grounded. But Avengers Infinity War is exactly, it's a perfect film. I mean, it does everything you want perfectly, dude. The pacing is really good in this movie for all the different things going on. The characters are really good. The character development, seeing not only the character development throughout the film, but the character development that's been going on for 10 years finally kind of coming to an end and coming to a head was really cool, dude. And this is one of my favorite. It's my favorite version of Steve Rogers, one of my favorite versions of Tony Stark. Just really good character development overall. Trying to think, man, was this? No. So, okay, the one thing that I have a big problem with in this movie, dude, and why I think it's below Civil War for me, is that there was no Hulk. Hulk was the freaking, it was just Bruce Banner, and they were kind of fighting back and forth. And I think it's because they know how powerful Hulk is. Bro, I don't know if you guys know this, but in the comics, Hulk would literally destroy planets. This guy was insane. Literally probably the second strongest Marvel comic book character of all time. Probably behind like Scarlet Witch. It's probably huge. Maybe Scarlet Witch. But dude, the Hulk is insanely powerful, and the MCU really nerfed him. And I understand why they did it. And in this movie, I get why, because he probably could have destroyed Thanos in 3 seconds. But Other than that, you can really enjoy this movie. The whole Wakanda fight scenes are just awesome. Overall, just a fun film, dude. Yeah, that's definitely best of the best. Avengers Endgame, it's a great movie. I put it above Avengers, the first Avengers. My big problem with this movie, should I put it in best of the best? I gotta put it in best of the best, actually. I can't put it on the same level as Avengers. My big problem with this movie is it did a lot of the things that Infinity War did good, but the pacing is just, it's a weird paced movie for me. Sometimes it's really slow, sometimes it's really fast. I like the time travel stuff that they do. That's really cool. I love how they incorporate that. You know, you see all this stuff come to a head. The final 30 minutes of this movie is probably one of the best cinematic 30 minutes we've ever seen in any movie ever. Yeah, just the last 30 minutes is just pure classic amazing cinema. You know what I mean? Because of that, it's best of the best for me. Just doesn't live up, I don't think, to Infinity War and to Civil War. And I think why Infinity War outweighs it is because in the end they lose. And I love, like, bro, I love when the unexpected happens, and the fact that they ended on the note of Thanos actually winning is just so crazy. But Avengers Endgame came in with a bang with, chopping, or I think it was Thor that chopped off Thanos' head and stuff like that. That was really cool. I enjoyed that. And a lot of fun moments throughout. But in a way, it kind of felt like a beat for beat, not a beat for beat, but it just felt like, okay, this should have been done in Infinity War. Now we got Endgame, and it's like Thanos is back again. I don't know. It just felt like it should have ended maybe a little sooner than it did. But other than that, a really emotional movie. Obviously, Iron Man dying in the end. Crazy stuff, dude. But overall, I will always remember the build-up that this movie had. I will always remember the back-to-back releases of Infinity War and Endgame, and just the build-up, the emotion, the intensity was just something else, bro, and on a different level. So I love Endgame, dude. It's a really good film. There you go. Couldn't get that out. Really good film overall. We gotta start getting through this. Jesus. Guardians of the Galaxy. Man, I'll put it great for me. It's not best the best. I love it. I think it's a really good film. And we got Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, so we'll just go and rank this too. I think it's good. I to be honest, bro, like what Guardians of the Galaxy 1 did so well. Once again, it's a grounded movie. They didn't overdo itself with the CGI as much. That's exactly what the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 did. Volume 2 just went way overload with the CGI. Was it Ego? Was that his name? Was that Kurt Russell that played Ego? I think it was, right? He was cool, but nothing beats the first Guardians of the Galaxy. The Volume 1, the stuff that, like, it was such an important movie because one of the stone was in it. What stone was it? The Power Stone, right? The Power Stone was incredible. The jailbreak scene is one of my favorite scenes in the entire film, in the entire franchise, I mean. Overall, just really good stuff. Very grounded movie. It's just not on the level of these, obviously. Volume 2 just kind of fell flat for me, dude. I had high expectations, and I think Baby Groot was in this one, right? Baby Groot was cool, but I don't know. Just doesn't live up to these two, in my opinion. Tripping? Oh, come on, bro. Come on. Guardians of the Galaxy deserves great, but Volume 2 deserves great too, or best of the best? No, bro. It's overrated in my opinion. Next we got Ant-Man. This is a great film, dude. I gotta put it right below Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1, though. Dude, the first Ant-Man is such a good movie. It's hilarious. It's effective. It's emotional. Yellow Jacket's an incredible villain. Of course, we get him later on in Ant-Man 3 as MODOK, which is cool. Ant-Man's a really good film, dude. I love it. There's actually a lot of intense moments in this movie. Even though it's pretty much a comedy, there's some really good emotional, heavy moments in it, and that's what I love about it. Just overall, really good movie. Good introduction, and having Paul Rudd in the MCU is just awesome. Ant-Man and the Wasp is, I don't know, man. I mean, I gotta go, it's not on the same level as these two. It's an okay movie. Not much to it. I wasn't a big fan of the villain. The suit looked weird. I don't know. I just wasn't really into it, to be honest. Yo, Sal, what's up? So yeah, just not exactly what I was looking for in this film, and I was kind of disappointed, to be honest, because I love the first Ant-Man, and then this one's just like, eh. Next one we got is Doctor Strange. I love Doctor Strange, dude. And to be honest, like, By the way, these are in order as always, so this is, from left to right. Doctor Strange, dude, this movie was wild. Really, really enjoyed it. Really good origin story. Really well done. Some of the best visuals in the entire, well, not just in the MCU, but some of the best visuals out of any Marvel movie ever made. They just did it so well. Like I said, Marvel, they didn't overdo the CGI in this film, which was, they had literally the perfect amount of CGI in this movie. And that's why it goes in great for me. Really good villain. The final battle, him dying over and over again with Dormammu or whatever. Dude, it's so memorable, and it's so hard to forget that. I haven't seen Doctor Strange since 2018, I think, or 2017, like a year after it came out. But I love it to death, dude. It's a good movie. And it also, it's an introduction to one of the most important and iconic characters in Marvel. First Doctor Strange is great. Yeah. First Iron Man too. You'll see. Iron Man, I agree. Iron Man's gonna be in great. I'd probably put Iron Man actually over. Iron Man's got to go there for me, dude. I love Iron Man, dude. Iron Man's a really, really good film. Dude, this movie, number one, it's the introduction. You got to give it credit for starting the MCU. Robert Downey Jr. is just absolutely unreal, dude. It's super nostalgic. You're right, bro. The suit is so good. The whole breakout from where was he in? Was he in Afghanistan? I don't know where he was, but he was where the war was going on. Dude, Iron Man's just so good in this. When he breaks out of the cave, man, in the Mark 1 suit and it starts killing them all, dude. I mean, we've never seen this Iron Man again. This is the first and final time we'll ever see Iron Man at his best, in my opinion. Yeah, he goes nanotech and stuff like that, but once he goes nanotech, it's just not as cool. And then seeing him kind of figure out the suits and kind of build it was really cool. And seeing, Pepper Potts and that relationship kind of start to build is really fun as well. So it's just really cool, man, to see. It's just such a good film. It's such a good film, bro. Next movie on here is Spider-Man Homecoming. Gotta go good for me, or great, I mean. I gotta put it in front of Doctor Strange, though, bro. It's gotta go in front of Doctor Strange. This is a good movie, dude. Spider-Man Homecoming is a really good film. When this first came out, I wasn't big on it, actually, at all. I thought it was actually... Dude, if I had to rank this when my first thoughts on it, I'd probably put it in Like, that's how bad I was. I hated it. My mind was set on Toby and Andrew. And I didn't like the super, not nanotech, but like the super, tech suit that Spider-Man had. And I'm still not big on it. I kind of miss just Spider-Man putting on the suit and the suit not being Spider-Man. I miss Peter Parker being Spider-Man, not the suit being Spider-Man. And every time I see Tom Holland's version of Spider-Man, it's the suit that's Spider-Man, which is why, and I'll get to this, actually I'm going to get to in a few movies, so we'll get to that in a second. Hopefully I'll remember the point I was trying to get to. But no, just a great film overall. Really good villain in the Vulture. I personally wasn't expecting the plot twist or I don't think anybody was, because there was no build up to it. But the plot twist of the Vulture being, what was her name? Peter's love interest. Her dad being the Vulture was crazy. Really fun stuff. It's actually a pretty emotional movie, but just way too much Iron Man in it, and that's what kind of ruins it for me a little bit. But I mean, just the final 30 minutes, the third act is just so good, dude. When he's picking up the rubble, dude, and I am Spider-Man. It's just so good. I love it, dude. Really good stuff on that film, and done really well. Now we got Spider-Man Far From Home. I mean, I'll go here, dude. Listen. This movie did have some of the best visuals when it came to Mysterio, right? Like the fight scenes with Mysterio was really, really cool. But this movie just doesn't, and Jake Gyllenhaal, I love him to death. Great actor. Why? But it doesn't feel like a Spider-Man movie. Why we're in Paris or wherever we are, I don't get it. No, we're in Italy, right? No, we're in Italy. I don't know, man. It just wasn't really there for me. It didn't feel like a Spider-Man movie. Now, Spider-Man, it doesn't just have to be in New York City. It doesn't just have to be in Queens. But the setting just felt off. Wasn't the biggest fan of it. The suit was cool. I like the red and black suit. But just overall, dude, I was not a fan of this film, mainly for the reason of it just not feeling like a Spider-Man movie at all. Once again, you have the really techie suit, and it's like, yeah, I guess it's cool, and there's not as much Iron Man in this movie, but just I don't know, it wasn't that great to me, just mainly because it didn't feel like a Spider-Man movie. A Spider-Man movie should feel like a Spider-Man movie, and this movie just didn't have that. I was really disappointed with this movie, and every time I watch it, it never goes up. Next one we got is Spider-Man No Way Home. This movie's a really, really, really good film. Not best the best. Better than the first Spider-Man, I would say. Probably right. I think that's a good place for it. So this kind of gets back to what Spider-Man's all about. He's back in Queens. He's back in New York. And, obviously, this movie is strictly fan service, and that's why a lot of people, I wouldn't say it's a very divisive movie, but this movie does have a big group of haters for the main fact that it's mainly fan service. And it kind of, in a way, though, it's fan service, but it's fan service in a way that's like respectable. They didn't just throw in fan service. There's actually a story behind it of them building up the multiverse. This kind of builds into Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness and this whole new saga with Kang being the villain, right? The main villain. Enjoyable for sure. Obviously, seeing Toby back and Andrew back, you can't beat it, dude. I remember seeing that in theater and just going crazy. And then probably one of the best theater experiences I've ever had. My theater might have been half full, maybe, and it was still super loud, dude. I felt like I was at like a college football game, dude. Everybody was going crazy. They just started cheering. It was just so cool to be a part of that atmosphere. And this movie really delivered on it. And one more thing too before we move on, the one thing that I love about this movie, and this is the point I was going to get to earlier when I was talking about Homecoming, is this is a movie that at the end, Peter doesn't have anything. Makes the decision of not, starting a relationship or friendship with, MJ and Ned. And instead he goes on and lives his own life in a crappy apartment, makes his own suit that has no technology, and gets a crappy job. That is what Spider-Man's about. Spider-Man's not supposed to have all this money and be freaking, spoiled by Iron Man. Spider-Man's supposed to be this depressed, really just sad character that doesn't really have a social life, a personal life, and he just lives through being Spider-Man. That's exactly what we're getting now, bro. A depressed Peter Parker is a great Peter Parker. You know what I mean? So it's good to see it. It's good to see it. Black Panther, the first one. Black Panther, I think people say it's so weird. People either are going to put it here or either going to put it here. I'm someone who I enjoyed it for what it was. Actually quite a bit. I think it's one of the best Marvel movies. People aren't really that big on it for some reason, and then people think it's the best Marvel movie. It's not the best Marvel movie. It's not even in the top 5, but it is a really good Marvel movie. I will give it that, and it's a movie that is overhated and also overloved. So there's a little soft spot that this movie needs to go into, and I think this is probably the perfect place for it. I enjoy it more than some of these other movies. It kind of sucks to see Avengers this slow, though, dude. I don't like seeing Avengers this slow. I gotta move that. I think this is a good place for it. Black Panther goes there. I think that's a good place for Black Panther. Oh, I might even put Black Panther over Guardians of the Galaxy, dude. I really like. This is tough, man. There's so many movies. We'll do that. But I really did enjoy Black Panther, and I love it to death, dude. It's a really, really good film that's executed really well. Black Widow. I saw this in theaters as well. It was good. I would put it below these for sure. It's a good movie. David Harbour was awesome in this film. But it just, I don't know. It was really weird to get a Black Widow movie after she was dead. Whose idea was that? You know what I mean? Why not give it to us when she's alive? You're going to give it to us. I don't know. It was just super weird for me. Just a prequel that made no sense. Didn't really do a lot for the MCU. Really good fight scenes. And the story that most people were wanting to hear and know. But I feel like this movie would have been a lot more appreciated and would have done a lot better in the box office, even though it did okay, if it was released when she was alive. I'm just saying. Everybody was wanting it after Winter Soldier. Everybody was wanting a Black Widow movie after Winter Soldier, and we never got it for some reason. until after she died, because that makes sense. WandaVision, I like WandaVision. The build-up was way better than the ending. The ending was kind of stupid, in my opinion. I don't know. It was like a build-up to nothing. To absolutely nothing. It probably goes there for me, dude. Like, listen, if there was a really good ending to this show, it would probably be up here somewhere. But it just, once again, a really, like, weird ending to it, man. There was just, like, it was just big build-up, really cool mystery. If you get through, like, the first 2 episodes, it's like, what's that one Jim Carrey movie, dude? The Truman Show. It's very Truman Show, right? And I love the Truman Show. I love that she made this fake, it's actually pretty deep. She made this fake life to cope with the loss of her love of her life. This entire fake world with her powers because of grief, which is just so, like, it's actually really deep, dude. It's really crazy. But yeah, just a movie that, like I said, the ending was just kind of underwhelming, so it goes there for me. Still good though. Iron Man 2, a movie that I don't actually watch too much. Whiplash was cool as a villain. Not great though, not as good as the first Iron Man. Probably goes in good for me, but definitely above these. I think it's a good place for it right here. Good. Not much to say about it. Just an okay film. This movie almost felt like it tried to outdo the first Iron Man, and because of that, like, every time I watch it, I'm like, you know what I mean? But, you know, a good little suit upgrade. I like the suit a little bit more. It looks cool. And some good moments. And once again, you know, you see the relationship, you see the relationships with these characters really start to develop more and begin to really flourish, which is really cool to see. Next we got is Hawkeye. I only saw 4 episodes of this show, so I can't really speak too much on it. But had Haley Steinfeld in it, bro. So that alone puts it in good. And you know, it was just cool to see, you know, Jeremy Renner finally get you know, his own little thing with Hawkeye, and it was actually a pretty interesting show. I just stopped watching it for some reason, so we'll put it right there for me. Actually, I'll put it behind Black Widows because I didn't see the entire thing. You know, enjoyable time, and I love the Christmas vibe too. I love the Christmas vibe. So this is a show that you can watch in, like, during Christmas time, and it still kind of give off Christmas vibes, which is cool. But it didn't overtake the film and overtake the story, at least within the first couple episodes that I watched. So it goes good for me. Moon Knight. I can't really rank Moon Knight, dude. I only saw 2 episodes of Moon Knight. You know what's crazy, dude, is Moon Knight was one of my favorite not MCU, but one of my favorite Marvel characters growing up. I loved Moon Knight. And I watched the first couple of episodes, and I wasn't that into it, man. Like, it was weird. Like I said, dude, do you guys remember the Marvel Alliance video game? I would play as Moon Knight all the time. I was a huge Moon Knight fan. I thought his suit was cool. I loved the design. And I love Oscar Isaac as an actor, but, like, I couldn't get into the way that they went about the character. I couldn't get into it. It felt like it didn't feel grounded enough. You know what I mean? Because that it goes, I don't know, man. I can't really rank it because I've only seen the first 2 episodes, but it was for me, to be honest. Iron Man 3, one of the most underrated and overhated Marvel movies, in my opinion. I actually really like Iron Man 3. Listen, a lot of comic book fans hate Iron Man 3 because they made what's the villain's name, bro? What was his name? That's gonna bother me, dude. Whatever, I can't remember his name. In the comics, he's actually a threat, and in this film, they play him as more of like a fake kind of like the whole thing is a gimmick type of thing with the character, and people hated that so much. But since I really didn't read too many Iron Man comics, that didn't really bother me too much. And I actually really enjoyed this film when I watched it. I enjoy it more than Iron Man 2, in my opinion, and I love it, dude. Do I put it above Avengers Age of Ultron? No, it probably goes there for me. This is a film that I actually really enjoy, but I can't put it on the same level as these up here, but I do really like it. It's a good film. Most people would probably put it in here. I can never do that, dude. The Incredible Hulk. This is a movie that I wanted to like, but there's just so many problems. Listen, I like Edward Norton. I do like Ed Norton in this role. I actually really like him in this role. I love the CGI of Hulk. I like his Hulk design better than I like Mark Ruffalo's Hulk design. This Hulk was actually a scary Hulk. And I like that this movie's not flooded with like comedy. Yeah, the Mandalorian. Yeah, you're right. You're Mandalorian. You're right, dude. You're right. But yeah, I watched this movie for the first time 2 years ago because it's always like the outlier in the MCU. And it gets too much hate in my opinion. There's some really good battles in this and a pretty good story, but there's just no chemistry between the characters. And because of that, it probably goes upper F for me, to be honest. I think that's a good, no. I would say probably like right here. It's a good film, but like I said, man, just the chemistry is just not there for me in this movie. I don't know why, but the chemistry is just, it's not there. Next we got is the Thor movies. People hate the Thor movies, dude. Bro, I've never understood the hate for the. I understand the hate for the Thor movies, but they're kind of my guilty pleasure, bro. I actually really enjoy them. So the first Thor I think is a good movie. I think the first Thor movie I would probably put probably right here, man. Now listen, I have not seen the first Thor movie in about 4 years, so it's been a minute. No. 5 years, dude. It's been a while since I've seen the first Thor movie. The first 3 Thor movies. So I can't really talk too much on it, except I do remember really enjoying it and having a good time with it, dude. And I thought it was a good introduction to the character. I thought Chris Hemsworth was perfect. His hair's a little short in this one, and it is kind of weird going back and watching it because it's his real hair. Not the whatever you call it, the extensions that they kind of went with later on. But a good movie. You can appreciate this movie for what it is. And of course, Loki is just incredible. Thor: The Dark World. Probably here. Most people would actually put it in here, but listen, dude, it's not executed very well. But Chris Hemsworth makes up for it. Some good fight scenes, but no, the Red Infinity Stone obviously gets introduced in this movie, and I don't know, I've always appreciated it for that, and I thought they did it in a pretty good way. This is a movie I think is overhated a little bit, but I understand the hate for this movie a lot more than I understand the hate for the first Thor movie. Thor Ragnarok, this movie did what Love of Thunder tried to do, but this one actually landed on its feet. In my opinion, it's a great film, man, but gotta go there for me. It's not better than Guardians of the Galaxy. It's not better than Black Panther, any of those, but it's a good movie, dude. It is a good movie, and you can sit down and watch this movie and really appreciate it. It's hilarious. You get introduced to Korg. He's made of rocks. Terrible Korg impression, but you know what I'm saying. Valkyrie was really good in this movie. Helena, right, was the villain. You get You get Goldblum, bro, who absolutely killed it in this movie as well. And yeah, seeing Hulk in here was really cool too. This was the final time, by the way, that we saw actual Hulk. And that kind of hurts my heart a little bit, man. That really does sulk. That really does suck, bro, because then you get like the Professor Hulk thing, and it's like, all right, man. You know what I mean? I don't know. I can't stand Professor Hulk, bro. But I love the vicious Hulk we get. And, dude, that Hulk that we see in these movies, guys, when he's in, like, the full form of Hulk, that's only 10% of what the Hulk can actually do. He's an insanely powerful character, man. They really nerfed him in this in the live-action MCU. Captain America, The First Avenger. A pretty boring movie, to be honest, dude. It's a very slow movie, but I like it. Probably there. This is a really good introduction to the character. I'm a sucker for like the World War II, or I think it took place in World War II, right? The World War II kind of like set movies. I'm a sucker for war movies, dude. And I love the vibe it gives off. The Red Skull is pretty good in this movie as well. Some really good action scenes. Was it Peggy Carter? Yeah, I think that was the older one. I don't know. No, it wasn't Peggy. Was it Peggy Peggy? I don't know. One of the Carters was really good in this one as well. You know, the classic, you know, Steve Rogers, the CGI body of Chris Evans, you know, on the really like small skinny guy. And then of course he gets in like the chamber, and then you know, he gets all big, all roided up. But that's a really iconic, you know, sequence right there, and a really good one. The whole story with Bucky and everything, just really good stuff. But it just totally gets outdone with the Winter Soldier, man. This movie, oh, dude, I mean, do I put it? I got to, bro. Should I though? I got to. Oh yeah, I got to, bro. Dude, the Winter Soldier is so freaking good, dude. Like, listen, this is a better made movie than these two. But these two just had bigger stakes. I love how grounded this film is, and kind of like the mystery detective type of like thing going on throughout. I love that as well. Once again, it's not just bad guy attack him. There's really deeper elements to this, dude. And of course, you get introduced to Black Widow in this film. You know, you have the whole thing with Shield. Just like, bro, it is done so freaking well. Some of the best visuals. I think the brothers, God, what's their names, dude? That's really Anthony. Yeah, the Russo brothers. The Russo brothers, I believe, did this film as well, and this kind of led into them doing, you know, all the you know, the Avengers movies and the later ones. Bro, they were so good. The action scenes are some of the best action scenes probably in the entire MCU and of any Marvel movie ever. It's so good. If you haven't seen The Winter Soldier, bro, go watch it. Also, probably my second favorite Captain America suit. It's such a clean suit, dude. It's so good. Wakanda Forever, I don't know. Listen, I don't know if I can like rank this one like respectively, just because I've only seen the clips from it as well. But I'll rank it. I've seen enough. This is a film that just kind of you feel the absence of Chadwick Boseman, and because of that, I'm not the biggest fan of it. And when you watch it, you can tell something is missing. Probably goes in good for me, but when you're watching it, man, you could tell just something's just not right. You know what I mean? And they do a good job with the story. But like I said, it's like there's a puzzle and you're missing a piece. You know what I mean? And a lot of people said that they didn't feel that when they were watching this movie, but I definitely did from the parts that I've seen. Yeah, you know, just not the biggest fan of it, dude. Like I said, it just feels so really weird. Guardians of the Galaxy, the holiday special. This was fun. It was cool. I don't know if I could put it above any of these, but it was good. It was fun. You know what I mean? People hate on this, but I thought it was pretty cool. You get Kevin Bacon in there. It was enjoyable. And the final one, the latest MCU movie, Ant-Man Quantumania. This is a film that I definitely really enjoy. You know, the more I look back on it, the more I like it. It probably drops down a little bit on my ranking. I gave it like an 8.5 or something like that, or an 8.6. I don't think it needs to be that high. Maybe like an 8.2. It did a lot of good things, a lot of bad things. But it's a pretty enjoyable movie overall. I gotta put above these. Probably there for me. Good film. Just I haven't seen it. Don't spoil it. I got you. But yeah, just you know, Kang. I thought Jonathan Majors carried this movie. Jonathan Majors is so good, dude. Jonathan Majors is awesome as Kang. But my big problem, this isn't a spoiler, my big problem is you make Kang look so vulnerable in this movie, and he's supposed to be the next big villain. That's like taking Thanos and putting him in, like, you know, Avengers Age of Ultron. Instead of the post-credit scene, you put him in as the actual villain instead of Ultron, and then, you know, the Avengers, you know, beat him or whatever, make him look vulnerable, and it's like, he's not scary anymore. So you showed the vulnerability of Kang in this movie. Why would you do that? But Kang is probably, when he's kicking butt, bro, he's probably the most terrifying MCU villain I've ever seen. More terrifying than Thanos, any of them, bro. Really good villain, and Jonathan Majors, dude, is on top right now. I mean, he is one of the best actors in the business, and is just unreal. He absolutely killed it in this movie, and also MODOK was pretty cool. But yeah, just overall good movie, but definitely had some moments that were really, really cringy, but good film overall. So there we go, man. That's gonna be my ranking. I'm pretty happy with this, man. Only 3 movies and best of the best. I think these all deserve it. Winter Soldier definitely can make an argument to be up there in best of the best. Same thing with Iron Man, but I think all the rest deserve to be in great. I'm pretty happy with this, man. No, none of them were in the question marks, just because I don't think any of them were like that bad. But yeah, so there you go, man. I got all these I got to get to, especially Shang-Chi. I've heard a lot of good things about that.